wrap it 2 3/4, right?
See, if I just take the rectangle of fabric and I wrap it around the body, it's got no shape.
I need an arm space, you know?
You could add another zipper, or you could add like snaps or hooks and bars.
Snap.
If I want the waist to fit, I'm gonna pinch in the extra fabric.
Yeah, home ec doesn't exist anymore. And I remember I think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade being tortured by having to make a boombox pillow that everyone had to make in home ec.
Now we're gonna turn the ruler this way and line this mark up with my mark.
So Factory Fashion is a sewing and fashion design program. We started about a year ago during the pandemic, and really we were just trying to focus on keeping alive some of the arts that our grandparents used to engage in that seem to have skipped the generations since then.
Trying to make sure the fabric doesn't get full.
Sewing, crocheting, embroidery, but then we actually really wanted to focus on the design and fashion aspect of it. So we're trying to also train students into pattern making, also learning how to cut patterns. So the students who actually want to create their own clothes or upcycle and recycle their own clothes are part of our focus as well.
Well, I'm 11 years old and I'm learning how to make my own patterns. And I'm also learning how to figure out how much fabric I need. And these are strings and the beads are hanging on the end of it. And I was gonna use satin, but I had to compromise and use cotton, but that was okay.
I like to take inspiration from old family photos and then old just stuff we find in the attic, old things that my grandma sends to me. And I like to have a story that goes with my design. So when I'm designing something, I'm thinking, what kind of person would wear this out into the world?
You fold this up like this.
And I think about what would make them the most comfortable, what would make me the most comfortable if I was to wear this out, that kind of thing.
To see it in action is so important.
More than anything, fashion to me is giving people happiness in a physical object.
I think the amount of talent in this room is exceptional, right? The student talent, and they're all beginners. So for me to understand that some of these students will go on and will take the skills that they've learned here and possibly have a career in the fashion industry is it's pretty spectacular for me. So
To me, that's a huge accomplishment, from just sewing clothes and then wearing them around to actually having them be represented on models on the runway.
I feel like coming into this, I was definitely a bit nervous, unconfident in my designs, but everybody's telling you, you have something to say, so say it, so draw it, so make it into a pattern, so sew it. No pun intended. And it's this huge confidence uplifting thing telling you that you can do it, even if you don't have experience, even if you're 13, even if adults are telling that you can't do it.
So part of what's important to us as an academic focused institution is also making sure students are walking away with real skills. So we definitely want them embellishing, we definitely want them exploring in a really creative way, but we also want them to walk off with the practical skills that they can go home and make a garment, not just learning how to sew, but learning the actual skill of sewing.
That's the most amazing thing ever, because I've done classes like these before, but none like this, because I'm actually showing my outfits around on a runway, and it just makes me almost feel like a professional fashion designer.
For our students ages 8 to 17 to be able to fully realize a look and send it down the runway at Fashion Week is pretty big.